This morning, the church comes together and we celebrate St. Anthony of Padua, who is a great and powerful preacher, saint, and actually that was my patron saint for my confirmation. So I love me some St. Anthony, and oftentimes I find myself relying on St. Anthony. In fact, last night as I got in from the graveyard, we had two funerals yesterday, I couldn't find my keys. And I said, man, I'm going everywhere with my phone. It was like I was on a treasure hunt looking for my keys. I walk over here. If anybody would have passed and saw me, they would have thought Father Braxton has absolutely lost it. So I'm sitting here going around with my keys, hoping to ping my tile, and I could not find my keys. Walked over to the church twice, had to go. Of course, your church key is on the key ring. So I couldn't find it. To make a long story short, after about 45 minutes, I realized it was in Kathleen's office. And so, praise be to God, I had asked for the intercession of St. Anthony. And St. Anthony has never proven me wrong. He has always been there to help when I ask for his intercession when I lose something. So praise be to God. Thank you, St. Anthony, because he has gotten me out of more problems than I would ever imagine. So our readings today, particularly our first reading from the first book of Kings, you hear about Elijah and Elisha. And it's really interesting because I don't know if you picked up on this little line in here where Elisha says, "Please let me kiss my father and mother goodbye." And it reminds us of something in the Gospels of when Jesus tells his disciples, they say, "Let me go bury my dead." Okay, how does Jesus respond to them though? Let the dead bury the dead. Okay, so it's really interesting that this is part of our reading this morning for the first reading. Transitioning over to the gospel, there's a beautiful gospel. And the part that just really speaks to us today. It speaks to the world right now in the midst of what's going on. Let your yes mean yes. Let your no mean no. One of the things that stands out today on this day as we celebrate and St. Anthony of Padua is that in the office of the readings, he is very much a person who calls for priests to live an authentic life. And I'll never forget, in seminary, I had a professor who once stood before the class and he said something that was so profound. He said, if you're mediocre, your people will be godless. He said, if you're holy, your people will love the Lord. And that has always scared me as a priest. And today, this gospel is such a reflection of that. How are we walking in our daily lives? Are we just shooting for a C? Are we shooting to get by? Or are we really striving to live that life of holiness? If we're not striving for perfection, what are we striving for? We're striving for mediocrity. What does mediocrity breed? It breeds mediocrity. And so today, brothers and sisters, as we come together, for all of us as Christians, as followers of our Lord Jesus Christ, this gospel is for us a reminder that we are to live out an authentic life, a life that is you're either completely in or you're completely out. We can't stand 1 foot in the door and 1 foot out. We have to be either 100% in or 100% out. Where are we this morning? As we prepare to encounter our Lord Jesus in the Eucharist, we ask him to give us the grace to let our yes be a 100% yes, a yes in which we live out completely and utterly in our vocation, whether it be as a single person, whether it be in the married life, whether that be as a priest. Lord, let our yes be a yes to you.